Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Debunkers. My name is Anna Mays, and I am here with Tamara Hammond to talk about the AI and our future. Tamara Hammond is a PhD in world languages and cultures from the University of Utah. She has a master's in Russian from Columbia University and a bachelor in history. She taught modern and ancient world history, and her dissertation examined digital media and the rise of independent journalism, and her research includes Western propaganda, censorship, and technocracy. Hammond published 4 books and multiple articles in academic and scientific journals. So Tamara, since you are an expert on AI, please tell us what's the future hold?
I think that's a very important topic, and we're going to be discussing it. I'm mostly interested in debunking 2 myths about artificial intelligence. First, that they're superior to humans, and second, that they're about to take over humanity. And I'm going to lay out the plans for us, regular people, and how the rulers who govern us intend to design society based on AI and ruled by AI. But most importantly, they'll be the wizard behind the curtain, and they'll be the ones ruling us. And because they fund and develop AI in direction they want to, they can go either way, in a direction that helps humanity or in a direction that's hostile to humanity. So all this talk about AI being sovereign independent entity is just to hide their role in controlling the AI.
Can I ask you a question? So can you tell us really what is AI? To me, as a layperson, it's just a database of knowledge that humans had input into the system on the web, right? Or is it more?
Exactly. Yeah, their AIs are just fine machines, high technique machines that mainly are trained to access enormous quantity of data, and their role is to do this very fast. They're fast in this manner. They can do in seconds. They can access hundreds of terabytes of data. But what they do is they just calculate the probability of the most likely right answer. All they do is guessing and combining different pieces of information. They're just lumbering data, storing data, and when asked question, they calculate the most probable answer that makes sense. And they're lacking 2 main components, as we can see later when I present the scientists that actually refute the theory of AI's intelligence and superiority. And they all the scientists that I'm going to refer to, namely Noam Chomsky, the renowned linguist, whose career spans over 50 years at MIT, and he is very involved he helped with the creating of the large language models, or so-called ChatGPT or Gemini, or they're different. Can we go back to that's Chomsky, and these are scientists. We're going to start with the most prevailing wisdom, which is pushed by the media, the wrong theory of the superiority of AIs and how they're going to take over the world. And the supporters of this wrong theory, the supporters are very prominent scientists, among them the late Stephen Hawking, the late Henry Kissinger, Geoffrey Hinton, Nobel Prize winner in physics in 2024. He's considered the father of AI. Also, I mentioned Henry Kissinger. He's been Secretary of State for the Nixon administration. He's been National Security Advisor for 2 administrations, Nixon and Ford. He's also a member of the Trilateral Commission and the Bilderberg Group. Another person is Elon Musk, who was the CEO of Dodge, the short-living government agency for Department of Government Efficiency. And he's also one of the founders of PayPal and a member of the Bilderberg Group. When I say PayPal Mafia, I mean the few scientists, among them Elon Musk, Alex Karp, David Sachs, Reid Hoffman, and I think there are a few others that founded PayPal, and this is their expression. They call themselves the PayPal Mafia, and I'll talk about them later because they're all in charge now. We know that Elon Musk was officially in the government. Also, David Sachs from the PayPal Mafia is the current advisor of the President's Commission for Technology and Artificial Intelligence. This is the position that Eric Schmidt had.
Can I ask you a question? These are the tech guys, Elon Musk, Eric Schmidt, David Sachs. These are tech guys. Don't they have enough knowledge and expertise on this subject matter to know that perhaps these are dangerous tools, the AI?
Well, they are dangerous to others. They're not dangerous to them. Even if they start World War III, they're getting ready as we speak right now. Peter Thiel and Sam Altman is the creator of OpenAI or ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Yeah, they have a bunker in New Zealand. I heard they are aware of the danger, but they don't care because they are taking steps to save themselves. A little cohort of humans who they even plan, as we all know, with SpaceX of Elon Musk, that they're planning on going to Mars and other planets. So it's not that they are not aware. They are aware. They just don't care of the 90% of the population that's going to be extinct. They're just going to preserve a few slaves for themselves and hop on a new planet or live in bunkers.
Who do you think they're scared of, or what are they scared of? Are they scared of the AI that they're creating, or the nuclear war, or what?
No. No, they're just they want to push humanity in a transhumanism stage. And transhumanism, in short, is it's the combination of biological and technology, biological organisms and which are humans and technology. That's transhumanism. And transhumanism is very, very old. It started in the 50s, and we all know Aldous Huxley's dystopian book, Brave New World, where there are artificially created 4 classes of humans, and only a few rule them. They all are designed to serve and to be slaves. However, transhumanism was coined by Aldous Huxley's brother, Julian Huxley, who coined the term in the 60s, and transhumanism. Julian Huxley is a well-known eugenicist. He was the chair of the British eugenicist, and he was actually the first president of UNESCO. So all the world government organizations are connected. As we know, Henry Kissinger was the mentor of Klaus Schwab, who created the World Economic Forum. So all these people that are in the foundation of transhumanism are in charge now, and they are just continuing with the plan. And they're very open about it. As we know, Klaus Schwab wrote a book in 2020 in the middle of the pandemic. He wrote the book COVID and the Great Reset. He openly talks about their plans. And the same with Henry Kissinger and Eric Schmidt, who co-wrote a book. They wrote 2 books about AIs. The first one was AI and the Human Future in 2021. And the second one is Genesis, AI, Hope and the Human Spirit. It was published posthumously after Henry Kissinger's passing in 1923. It was published next year. So I'm going to talk about this book because it outlines precisely what they have in the future, they hold in the future for us humans. And these are some very disturbing.
I'm sorry, Tamara, just to clarify. So Henry Kissinger and Eric Schmidt co-wrote a book called Genesis. Now, Henry Kissinger, at this time, of the time of writing of the book, was very, very old.
9,900. He died at 100.
Right, but he had. I don't think his background was in technology.
No, his PhD is in political science, and he was always a career politician. He was
right. So he represents that side in the book, probably from his, area of expertise,
yes,
political science. And Eric Schmidt brought the technical knowledge.
Yeah, Eric Schmidt's PhD is in computer science.
Okay, can you tell us about the book?
Yes. So you can skip to the book. There is a slide there. Okay, these are the books, and there is a very scary citation in every chapter. And I have the citation. I think it's the next is citation. They call it the coevolution and symbiosis between humans and artificial intelligence, and they call it Homo Technicus. A new human is going to be called Homo Technicus or artificial human. So no, these are the PayPal mafias. It's right after the book, the citation. Nevertheless, in a chapter called The Brain, Kissinger and Schmidt explain that there is a subchapter called opacity. Explain that transparency and democracy are obsolete, and it's time for humans to accept dictatorship. And because of the superiority of AI, we're gonna delegate decision making to artificial intelligence, but we can question their decisions because we cannot comprehend human mind. Their processing and their process of making decision is beyond human mind and cannot be explained. And that's the whole point of denigrating humans and claiming that AIs are superior. And it's a very big leap from delegating tasks like computational tasks and mathematical tasks. It's a big leap from this to turning over decision making to artificial intelligence. And that's what the whole book tries to persuade us, that this is the reasonable thing to do. And they say, today, in the age of AI, we face a new and peculiarly daunting challenge: information without explanation. And this is the new premise, that we are supposed to have information but not explain it. And when I talk about the opponents of this theory, namely Chomsky, another Nobel Prize laureate, Sir Roger Penrose, they clearly dispute this notion, and they explain that, especially this is Roger Penrose won a Nobel Prize in Physics in 2020, and he believes that AI does not have conscious or intelligence, and it depends on human programming. This is the normal theory that is being pushed away because it's not convenient for the ruling technocracy. So information without explanation is the goal. And in their first book, AI and the Human Future, Kissinger and Schmidt claim that not only democracy is obsolete, there is a chapter called Politics with subchapter Return of the King, and they explain that we should have a monarchy, that Enlightenment era's ideas of democracy, liberty, and fraternity are obsolete. And here is a citation from them. Unprecedented information proceeding will enable truly efficient centralization of policy by AIs. So they recommend centralized policy, centralized ruling.
Like in a one world government?
Yes, and that extends to all the world, not just to our country. However, the opacity of these systems, the notion that their operation may be optimized in the absence of human interference, will work in the opposite direction. Because the authors expected opposition to their extreme authoritarian ideas, they react with an answer like, even as it might initially have felt terrifying for the 18th century European leaders to surrender control to the invisible forces of human self-interest, the political leaders of the 21st century may yet be required to humble themselves before a system that incorporates the wisdom of the masses in an entirely new form. So what they mean by the wisdom of the masses is that all the work is going to be done by multiple collective content created by us, but the rule is going to be centralized and monopolized by the technocrats on top.
Okay, so let me just pause for a second and just make sure that I have a clear understanding here. So they're saying that the AI is going to be in charge of that one world government, right? Mm-hmm. And is the AI going to be intelligent or not, or feeding on human knowledge? Which one?
Well, they claim that the AI is not only intelligent, but superior to us. That's why we should trust them to make decisions for us. Humans are too stupid to make decisions on their own. And that's the tendency. In the first book, The Age of AI, they explain that society is going to be divided in two tiers. One, the masses that are going to experience some kind of brain atrophy because they are not going to use their brain and they're going to delegate everything to ChatGPT or artificial intelligence, which is happening right now. They're not wrong about that. But that's their intention, to make people cautious and to make their brains make their brains suffer atrophy, so they can no longer make decisions for themselves. They'll be unable to do any intellectual work, and they're going to delegate everything to the AI. AI is going to do everything for them. And it's already happening in colleges. Every college professor will tell you that it's a big problem that students no longer write papers. They use artificial intelligence. They use ChatGPT to write their papers. And it's
right.
so...
ChatGPT and other AI systems are so far based on the knowledge that has been input into the system by humans. But they're saying in the future, it's going to progress to thinking on its own. But it hasn't happened yet.
No, they're predicting this. They're predicting this, and I would say fraudulently they're predicting, because they know it won't happen without their permission. But they're claiming that at some point AI develops so fast, way faster than any human thought, and it's going to be out of control, and they don't know when. But they're predicting that at some point it's going to be out of control, and they're giving examples, such as examples that so-and-so AI, which was programmed to be deleted in order to preserve itself, started blackmailing the technicians who are working on the program. And because the AI had access to their emails, one of them was having an affair, and the AI was blackmailing the engineer and threatening him to expose his affair if he turns the system down, to prevent the program to be finished. So examples
wait a second. So it's already happening then?
Well,
it's already happening.
We don't know if this is true or not. They're giving this as an example. But because AIs are trained by people, it's very possible that they pick up on human traits, which is blackmail. It's the rule in America in general. So it's very possible that they can pick up on this trend and practice it. That's very possible. But that even makes it more important, the training of AI to be delegated, to be trusted to moral people, not to people without scruples and immoral human beings who have no moral principles and are just after power and money. That's why it's so important that AIs are trained by people with integrity, and nobody cares about this.
Well, if you are looking for integrity and morals, and then we're looking at people like Peter Thiel, and other heads of Palantir and other tech companies that are very dangerous, actually.
Yeah.
We're not going to find any morality there.
Alex Karp, who is the CEO of Palantir, he openly says that democracy is bad, that we should return to monarchy. Peter Thiel openly says that free markets are for losers and we need monopoly. So they're not hiding their views on society. They want dictatorship and they're not even hiding it.
So do you think they could use the AI and could manipulate the AI from behind the scenes once they get to that level, and once they are in power, monopolize the world under the one world government? They could simply use the AI that they can manipulate from behind the scenes and impose the rule of their own on people of the world under the premise of AI is in control. Correct?
Yes, they're doing it already. That was all the goal of Dodge, to fire all the humans and replace them with algorithms and turn such an important part of governing into the AI. I mean, they're trying. They're not there yet. And that's why we must stop them. We must not allow this to happen.
I'd like to know how to do that.
Well, the first step is to know about it. We should let people know what's coming. We should constantly warn people. And I'm grateful to Whitney Webb and other journalists who constantly are warning us about it. And in fact, she's been talking about this kind of, this is Whitney Webb, and they say she's the new Chomsky because she's so smart and she sees through their manipulations. And she's mostly known with her 2-volume book, One Nation Under Blackmail, the sordid alliance between intelligence and organized crime that gave rise to Epstein. So we should really ring the alarm and warn people not agree to this, because it's so tempting. It's so easy to use artificial intelligence without using your brain. It's tempting and it's easy, and people are about to fall for it. And that's why I want to bring your attention back to Chomsky and Penrose. And there is another scientist, his name is Bernhard Kutzler. But he is mathematician, philosopher, and YouTube creator. And he specialized, his PhD is in mathematics, but for his doctoral thesis, he had to create a computer system that automatically proves theorems. So he is a big expert in artificial intelligence, and he claims that he wrote 2 articles about AI, and he claims that everyone who says that artificial intelligence is intelligent does not know what intelligence is. And we should really compare human intelligence to AI, because based on, according to Kutzler, he draws his definition of intelligence from the terms Latin root, and in translation, it means reading between, which proves that any kind of thinking requires creativity. And according to Kutzler's definition of intelligence, this is solving new problems in a new situation when you don't have anything as basis other than your brain. And see, AI cannot do that. They have to base their every move on tons of data and information, whereas human brain is, according to Chomsky, is very efficient and even elegant because it works with very small amount of information and generally seeks for explanation. That's the main difference. The human mind seeks explanation, whereas AI is incapable of creativity, imagination, explanation, any of this. That's why it's such a stark contrast between the views of humanitarians like Chomsky and Kutzler and Penrose, who seek explanation. Contrast this to Kissinger and Schmidt, who want to persuade us that explanation is no needed, and we should accept information without explanation from AI.
Right,
And
right.
another difference is that AI do not have conscious, and according to Penrose, Sir Roger Penrose, they can never develop consciousness. That's another lie that technocrats want to push, that, oh yeah, AI doesn't have consciousness, but it will develop consciousness. We don't know when and how. It will never develop consciousness, according to all these scientists, Penrose or Chomsky or Kutzler, because it's lacking exactly this miraculous trends of imagination, creativity that humans have. And based on Chomsky's linguist revolutionary theory, all humans, we have universal grammar programmed in us. And that gives us the opportunity to learn languages without effort from 0 to 2 years. We know that every human, regardless of their intellectual level, learns their native language in 2 years. Every single human does that. And this is because the way our brain works. And another argument posed by Chomsky is that because we know so little about how thoughts are created, the process of thinking, we know so little. Even linguists and brain surgeons, they don't know how thoughts are created or generated. We don't. And because of that, it's impossible to train AIs if you're not clear of the process. So in these two areas, we are superior to AI, but we cannot train them or teach them how to do what we can do, because they're lacking these two trends, conscious and language model.
But there is a lot of talk out there that AI are going to take our jobs, right? A lot of jobs are going to be lost to the AI.
Oh, it's happening already.
Okay. So what type of jobs are they taking?
Well, that's also by design. They could easily replace the hard, dirty jobs that nobody wants with robots, but instead they're replacing creative jobs like writers, artists. They started with accounting and data analysis, which is understandable. There is not much creative work there, although there is to some extent. So it's by design. They're fighting exactly the trends that we have that make us superior: imagination, creativity, and artistic skills. And that's why they're replacing these creative jobs with algorithms and artificial intelligence, precisely to sabotage our human development. If you take out of the humans' creativity and artistic impulses, what remains? Just machines and robots. And since the dawn of the civilization, humans are always attracted to art. We see the writings in the caves. Since the dawn of the civilization, they always creativity is part of humanity. You cannot take it away from humans. And that's what they're trying to do, our creativity away from us.
Speaking of the AI ability to do different jobs, for example, I was watching an interview with Sam Altman of ChatGPT, and he was talking about the AI's ability to calculate, to do math. And it did sound like perhaps it was much faster for the AI to do the same computations that it would take a human being to do.
No doubt. It's hundreds times faster.
So there are some good utilities that AI possess, right?
Of course, yeah. Of course, we all agree you can use artificial intelligence for things like hearing aid or certain functions that are damaged in humans. And this is their pitch, actually. Their pitch is that, especially with Elon Musk's Neuralink, he's going to help humanity, people who are paralyzed, he's going to help them. Yes, that's possible, but that's not why they're doing it. They're doing it not to help us. They're doing it to control us. So they want to chip everybody, not to help us, but to help themselves. So yes, this is the argument that all these scientists, Penrose and Chomsky and Kutzler, make, that artificial intelligence, they're just tools and could be used for harm or for good. It's as every tool could be used either way. And everybody, and that's why we should not descend to their level, neither we should try to elevate them to our level. We're just two different entities, and combination and coevolution is not required. We don't have to merge with technology. We don't have to merge with technology in order to use it. We can use it without giving up our human traits.
Wow, I agree with you. I don't want to merge with any technology.
Yeah, we should really not give up, because it's so tempting, and they're very persuasive. They say, oh, AI is going to make you smarter. That's why Chomsky calls AI high tech plagiarism, and a way to avoid learning.
Of course.
Because, yeah, why not tap into the data instead of trying to figure out for
Yourself.
Yeah, very tempting. We all do it. We all use cell phones, we all use information. But the question is, to what extent are we willing to become dependent on technology to the point that we lose our humanity? And the answer is no. And we should resist this. The push for humans to live virtual lives. That's what Meta is, the former Facebook. They want virtual reality. They want us in front of computer as much as possible, so we can lose all our human traits and become part of the machines.
And become a vegetable. What's the use of a vegetable on the planet then? Just like Klaus Schwab told us, useless eaters. Then you really become a useless eater if you can't think for yourself, if there is no job for you, if you can't function, then what's your use? Then you lose your purpose on this planet.
And the other big thing about AIs, they are being used right now for wars, and they will be used more for wars. We all know that all the droning and the bombing is based on AI data. And all these companies, Palantir and they use this high tech for mass surveillance and for wars. There is a chapter in Genesis about war, which is really, really scary. And it shows how they see us as pawns in a chess game.
It's already been weaponized against humanity, but this is just the beginning, right?
This is the beginning. They admire, Schmidt and Kissinger admire the ability of AI to send swarms of drones by sea, land, and air, and to kill precisely and without hesitation as many humans as they could. That's their stand on.
That sounds evil. Isn't that evil?
It is, and it's right there in the book. That's what I'm saying. They're not even hiding it.
They're not even afraid to say it openly. So we're talking about values and morals. Well, look at that. Sounds quite scary. You're right. And I think we must resist as much as possible and hope for the best for humanity, for the sake of humanity. Nobody wants to be a transhuman, at least not me.
Nobody wants this. Even the most damaged people are hesitant to accept this merging with technology. It's pretty scary. Of course, many people will fall for it, and that's sad.
Because it's an easy tool to use. It simplifies so many tasks. Once again, as long as the brain is not working, doesn't have to work, you don't have to flex that muscle, everything works easy for you. Whether you're in college, whether you are writing a paper, whether you're at work, you need to find some data. Now, of course, it's much easier with these tools as long as you don't become completely dependent on them.
Exactly. And we should really reconnect with nature and start admiring nature and be in nature as much as we could.
All right. Thank you, Tamara, for such a very interesting presentation that is very relevant to today's day, to us, to all of us here. So I'm very grateful for your presentation, and I hope people learn from this and actually understand there are some dangers to it.
Yes, thank you. It's time that we push back, and it's time for us to preserve humanity. It's time to educate people about what's going on, really.
And thank you for doing that. All right, Tamara, till next time.
Until next time, goodbye.